Hello and welcome back to the show. You're on Soul Star Radio. Yeah, that rhymes. Okay, sorry. I'm Jacquelene Closemore. I'm joining you live back from the Bat Cave, otherwise known as my little shop in South Yarra, just off Chirac Road, for people who have ever been to Melbourne and known where that is. It's quite fun. I spent last week heading off to Wagga Wagga in New South Wales. We had the lovely Joanne with us on air, talking about her beautiful skincare range and her changing career. And so today we're back in Melbourne, back doing readings. I've got a appearance in Narre Warren this weekend at Bunjil Place, which is a building that is in the shape of the outstretched wings of an eagle. So I'm really enjoying the idea of going back there. I was there once before earlier this year. I think it might have been July. Very beautiful building, very beautiful place, very beautiful energy, and it honours the Indigenous people in our country in Australia, and certainly in Melbourne, in the way that the consultative process, I believe, was undertaken to involve First Nations people in this building of this special place, which is for community, and it's also for, watching movies. It's a gathering place as well. And so it's really a special day to be talking about that, because in America, of course, we have Thanksgiving. And so, this is for all Americans, and not being an American, I can't speak much to that, but certainly thinking of the First Nations people as well as everyone else on your beautiful land. In the meantime, it was a pleasure to appear at Wagga Wagga and to certainly be part of the show there and doing live platform readings, which was actually really interesting balance of tears of release of grief in the audience, as well as tears of belly rolling laughter, which, you're sort of doing something kind of okay if that's happening. So I was really honoured to feel very welcomed by the audience there. And thank you so much to the Wagga Wagga Showgrounds for having us all there and being such very helpful people in the way that was organised. And also, of course, to Shine Your Light Events in Australia and the Wagga Wagga Psychic and Wellbeing Expo, Psychic and Spiritual Expo, which had me there and also performing those platform readings. It was a very supportive environment. I actually got to write an article for the magazine that comes out with that particular event, and it's called Shine Your Light, the magazine. On the front cover, I've actually got the article there, What is an Empath? So it's one of the cover stories, and inside the magazine, I've actually got that article, shiny paper. I've got that article in there talking about what it's like to be an empath and how that sort of feels, and talking about being an empath. I'm a psychic medium empath, but being an empath, you sort of feel everything, and it can be quite intense. And certainly on that weekend, I was sort of sharing the house with 4 other women, and it was very exciting and a lot of fun, but it was quite intense as well. So I think the thing is that when you're sharing a place with other people and you're very, very sensitive, just remember to always take that time out for you. And one of the ladies there was quite interestingly, she would be there and then she'd go off on her own, and then she'd be there and then she'd be off over here somewhere. And then she'd be there. And it was actually quite wonderful to watch her really flowing with that intuitive energy of being present and then being absent, and being present with herself. And I think that's really important when you're wanting to develop, particularly if you're more an empath, to always really respect that need to retreat and then return. It's a very important thing. So being an empath doesn't mean that you have empathy, simply that you have empathy for people at all. It means that you're actually picking up on the thoughts, feelings, and sometimes physical feelings, not just emotional feelings of other people, even events around you, when they're not actually spoken. Whereas to be empathetic is to be able to hear someone speak about something that's happening for them and to feel for them in that situation, having been told about the situation or scenario or events that's going on there. Certainly we could argue about the semantics of the dictionary and the way it kind of looks at it, and certainly I've got my son out the back there who's probably thinking that right now, as we do tend to argue quite a bit, and being a university student, he likes to point to statistical facts and all those sort of things, which are actually really important, to take notice of, but also at the same time, when we're dealing with sort of an empath, it's a very intangible thing, so it's not something you can put into statistics so easily, let alone say the word correctly. We have Kendra in Warren, Pennsylvania, USA, on the line. Are you there, Kendra?
Yes, I am.
Hello, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for calling in. It's lovely to speak with you. I really feel a lot of different energies going on with you at the moment. It feels like a lot of change going on around you. It feels like sort of waves of energy going on. And so there can also be, a bit of nervousness with that about the new changes, about things going on with you. I don't think it's just simply that you're talking to someone from across the other side of the world over the phone. But I really do feel a lot of different energies going on with you. Is it possible to work with your date of birth at all? If you could provide that to me, I can go right into a reading for you. I tend to find that helps me switch into the person I'm reading for, and then at the end of the reading actually switches me back out. Are you happy to share that date of birth of yours?
Yes.
Yeah, certainly. So if you can let me know.
2/15/85.
Brilliant. So with your energy, I do feel it's a massive heart energy that you share with people, and I really feel with you as well. There are times where you can go from certainty to really big uncertainty as well, and really you can be very, very certain for other people. But when we're talking about yourself and for yourself, that's where we get a bit sort of lost sometimes in the process of should I do that or shouldn't I? Always considering other people's feelings, emotions, and how they're going to be affected by the things you're thinking of doing. And you word things very correctly, and very carefully when you're dealing with people as well. It's coming from that sense of how will this affect the other person, before you're actually going ahead with, bringing in the message that you've got for them. So there's a lot of integrity, carefulness, and all these sorts of things. You're also a person who just gets down and gets things done for people. And, it's not about, oh, gosh, I have to do that for them. It's, right, this just has to be done. Let's get it happening. Let's get it done. Let's get it out of the way. We can work about who owes who what after that. There's a real sort of sense of that in you. And it's like you're doing things very much because they need to be done. It's not about, the sort of sense of reward or the sense of, what the exchange is. That's not where you're coming from. It's coming from a much more of a heart space with you. But, yeah, you'll just keep going and going until the job's done no matter what. And this year for you, it's all about what new corners to turn, and that real sort of sense of having to gather yourself up from past experience, refocus, start again, and then, okay, this is the next step I'm going to take. So it's sort of like stopping, pausing, the next step to take, breathe, relax, institute it, and going through that repetitive process of having to kind of adjust and readjust to what this is going to look like now. Was there a question, an area you wanted me to look at for you today, Dolly?
Yes. My husband, actually. When is he's supposed to get released from jail soon? So I want to know, like, what is going to happen. Like,
I think
he lied before, so I just want to make sure, like, this time, he's being honest about what he's saying.
I think that's a really hard one for you, because when you love, it's with all of your heart, and I really feel for you in this situation. It's not easy. Love sometimes is blind. Love sometimes, and I think your love's been very patient here. But I think the thing is, when I go to him, I go straight to his lower back, and I feel a bit cut off. And it makes sense when you're saying about him being in jail, because of that feeling of being cut off from the world. But with that, I go to the lower back pretty much straight away. So I don't know whether there's been issues with his lower back, whether there's been injuries or issues or stiffness there. I feel that when I go into his sort of energy body more emotionally, it's been quite a crippling experience for him. It's really making him reassess things on a very big level. He's not just going, ho-hum, all right, well, I'm just going to go back to how I was. I do feel he's actually wanting to change behaviours here, but I'm still wanting you to be protective of your own sense of self, your own sense of your emotional well-being. I do feel with him that sometimes he can be very scattergun effect in the sense of going here, going there, going there, going there. And it's sort of like going in all these directions but not really focused. And sometimes that makes him a bit impetuous, impatient. And that can result in some of the stuff that's happened here, I feel. And it's been a challenge for him to find where his integrity now sits with things. You know, what's now going to be the value is what he's really sort of coming to the lesson of. I really feel with you, the message I've got here, I've got Raul Estevez guiding Star of Life cards with me today, and thank you so much to Raul for having these beautiful cards, which I'm just going to show you I've got the 4 elements of the 4 areas of life. There's actually 3 cards that have jumped out, not for him but for you, and I'm just going to put them up. Hopefully it will be clear enough to see. But essentially the first one here is got learning. There's been a massive sort of energy of not only him but also you learning about what life is going to look like now and how the things we need to do to change to create the outcomes we're wanting in life, how we want life to be and how we're going to get there, what's needed in that. You're also needing to look, secondly, at that card fulfillment. And so what we've got there in that card is really that message that I'm getting strongly here anyway, of you need to look at what's actually making you happy. You need to look at what actually makes you feel nourished, well, fulfilled, and whole. It's really, really important because you can't just go, oh, well, I'll just go back like nothing ever happened. I'll just, be patient and remain that patient person, almost like Vasilisa before she got sent out into the forest, if we know what I mean. Because you're Vasilisa pre having to go out and get the the light from Baba Yaga. And, so there's a lot of learning you've been doing about, hang on a minute, is this real? Is this the right way? And a lot of discernment of that. But, yeah, you really now have to look at, is this fulfilling me? Is this doing something for me as well? And I do think you've been contemplating that, and I just am reminding you. And the last one is in the card of enthusiasm. Now, in this particular card's case, back there, in this particular card's case, I actually I sort of feel the need to see that he's placing, the right amount of energy here into what he's doing. And I think it's going to take patience on both sides. It's going to take trial and error. There's going to be mistakes here and there, but he has to show an interest, an active, participating, proactive interest in also changing his behaviour. And you need to kind of watch that's happening. And where you can see that happening, well, yep, great. We've got progress. It's worth, holding on through that. But where you feel the dishonesty is creeping back in, I really urge you to hold him to account here. And I'm speaking as a human being at the moment, I realise, not purely as a psychic. But I kind of have to say this, because it's really important to make sure that we're listening and hearing back from him solid, honest answers. Honesty is the most important thing, as is trust, because with honesty comes trust. And with trust comes, the desire to be honest. And, that needs to be underpinning this. And maybe you need to talk to him about that and say, well, look, here's my, my needs. Here's what my deal breakers are. And we can work on this, but I need to see that you're actually doing something about it. I feel his attention and stamina to keep going in the right direction sometimes can really become quite thin. All of a sudden, and it's like it wavers. And when that's happening, you actually feel that. It's like he goes on to a different pole of existence from over here to over here. There's like two sides of him. And, when you can feel him wavering towards that other side where things start to go in the wrong direction, I would actually pull him up and say, honey, I love you. But I can feel you're starting to lose ground again, and I really need you to come back in. I need you to gather the missing parts of you, bring them back in, join me here, be here with me, even if you're not using those words, finding the right words for you, where you can really draw him back in, give him the opportunity. I did say the opportunity, don't do it for him. Give him the opportunity to come back in with you, and maybe that can help him if he chooses to come back into that middle space where he can hold his ground. But if you find that it's like, way over here again, and it's just a repetitive thing of going over there, even though you're reminding him, and it's not getting any better, and you just see this a repetitive thing, even if someone's making a mistake, but you can see that their recovery is getting a bit quicker, they've got an interest and they're putting energy into improving, well, you stick with them. But if you can see that they just, I don't care, and they're just going back there and, what are you doing? Why are you complaining about this? That's when you have to be able to say to yourself, you know what, I love myself enough not to be restrained, in a situation where, I'm making a lot of excuses for them. I'm making a lot of forgiveness for them, but I'm just not seeing this returned. It's really important to see that you're not, trying to warm someone who wants to remain cold. That's how I would kind of put that, because I do feel he's got a good heart in there. I do feel that there's a lot of blockages to the way he sees the world, to the way he sees his value within that. And I do feel that there's been certain limited interaction with programs there that's been given to him to help him start to see this differently. And I do think that he's been starting to think about that. And I feel that we're going to get somewhere with this, but you can't do that by enabling him. And I really feel that you can help him to heal himself, but you can't heal him. He has to want to do this. This is his puzzle. And I do hear in his energy field that he wants to. He hasn't got all of the tools to do it on his own, but, there are tools there, and he can reach that. And I do feel that there is opportunity for him to occupy his time, and in a work sort of sense, to be able to start bringing himself back online again and start feeling more confident in himself and in the purpose of heading in that right direction again, rather than going, what's the point? I'll just go and do that. So I do see him on that T intersection of life. And I do see him standing there with the both directions available to him. It's not like he's stuck with one direction and that's it. He does have that, but he is just standing there, and I think taking a deep breath while he, acclimatizes. And that's why, yes, you need to be supportive of him, but be supportive of you. It's absolutely vital, because I feel as if you've really gone through a lot here emotionally yourself. And it's just so very important to also be nurturing yourself, and not just giving out the love, if that makes sense to you. Yeah, because I think it's not been easy for you, and it's just going to be one step at a time with this. I don't see him as, intending to deceive. I feel sometimes he doesn't say things because he doesn't want to cause hurt. I think he has deceived other people, but I do feel that he's wanting to not hurt you. And, in a way, that's a very caring thing, but you do need that absolute honesty here, and he has to be able to walk in that, to actually partner with you long into the future. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I just feel with yourself, there's going to be a lot of opportunities over these next 18 months, that particularly around women and around working with women, that's actually going to open up for you a lot of opportunities here, that mean that if he's not pulling his weight, if he's not walking his talk, if he's not being who he needs to be for you and for himself, then you're not even going to be asking the question about, whether he's doing this or that, because you'll already have stopped investing. You only ever give up on people, in your case, when they've already given up on themselves. And, on this one, you're really being extra patient, and even though you're wavering. But I do feel that you're going to end up making the choice that is really about nurturing yourself. And as I said, if he can stand with you on that, then he stays. Otherwise, you're just not going to tolerate into the longer term future. And I think that's just how this is going to play out. It's something that has to play out. He's still got choices to make. You've still got choices to make. That's why I'm not just going this, and this will happen, because, you know, we don't want to typecast him into or paint him into a corner. You know, we want to give him the opportunities here, and I'll be sending a lot of love and healing to both of you after this discussion, after this show. Because it's just, you know, it's really important to support people and see the positive potential at the same time as not being blinded by love. And it's very easy sometimes to be blinded by love. If that makes sense, yeah. So to me, when I look at your prosperity in the next, 12 months, I'm sort of feeling as if there's a project you're going to work on by yourself that's going to bring some financial fruition here that's going to be really good for you as well. So maybe that's why working on fulfillment will actually really help you because it's helping you get where you individually, your own goals, your own fulfillment, your own sort of sense of possibility opens up. So that's what I wanted to leave you with, Kendra. And I'm sending you so much love because I know that you've got this generous heart that you share with people. And I just want you to remember the value of that. You know, you've got a beautiful heart and people do value you. There are people that value you out there, and it's really important to hang with those people more. So thank you so much there, Kendra. Now, we've got time for just one quick call there. Hopefully I can do a lot for this call. We've actually got Cynthia in Missouri, USA. Are you there, Cynthia?
I am.
Hello, Cynthia, and thank you so much for holding. And I'm sorry to take so long to get to you. It's lovely speaking with you today. I really feel that salt of the earth energy.
A little bit louder so I can hear you.
We're having a bit of trouble hearing each other there. So hopefully if you're having trouble hearing me, I might just continue doing the reading anyway, and I might just, get you to listen back to the podcast afterwards. So I'm really getting that salt of the earth energy with you, that real strong, fierce determination. You've got the wisdom to help younger women, which is interesting considering our earlier caller, actually. There's a lot of very straight advice you'd give her. And I just feel as if you've at times had to walk away sometimes from people, in certain points in your life, particularly around 30, 40. There's a walking away there where we're not feeling valued. And I really feel as well there's a lot of really good guidance you can give people on starting new things, whether that's start-up businesses or new directions they're thinking of starting up in their life. And I just really feel that strongly from you. There's this real wise woman energy that comes across in your energy field. And I think at the moment it's a bit difficult for you to feel like you can express yourself, not just because we're having trouble with the phone on your end, but it's like I feel in the chest there, whether that's along the lines of breathing or simply not feeling you can express yourself properly. But I just really want you to work on perhaps, if there's an acupuncturist near you, that can help a great deal. But I'd be working on opening up that lung area. So if that means, working on a medical level, but there is also exercise you can do where you literally, as I'm doing right now, we sort of open up and stretch out this area, a lot of shoulder shrugging and really rolling shoulders backwards, literally swimming. So backstroke can actually help with that. Of course, if you're in freezing fall, depending on the part of America, and I'm unfortunately really stupid when it comes to that because I don't know what the weather is there right now. And it's my psychic senses that can be hilarious because Melbourne should be hot right now. It's freezing. So using these sorts of strokes like this, any stretching and movement-based exercises can help open up, this whole area for you, which is where I'm sort of wanting to go. I feel like the arms and legs with you will actually hang heavy and possibly from the shoulders like, and this is that sort of sense, with that when we talk about that sort of emotional carrying the load, and I feel as if with you as well, it's like you're carrying the stress of other people on you. And I just really feel that I'm just wanting to open that whole area up to make you feel a lot better. I do think that once we get through winter with you into the next spring, things are looking a heck of a lot better for you, not just emotionally, but also on, I'm just seeing you traveling for some reason and So if it is in winter, it may be you're travelling to a warmer area, or it is going to be next spring where there's this travel going on. And I'm not sure that that's something you've planned yet or not, but I'm really feeling the energy of that and the ability to sort of get out and see new surroundings, see new people around you. And that's what I'm getting there with you as well. I do feel concerned around a younger female with you. I'm just not sure what timeline I'm in with that. So it's like as though whether that's already been in the past or whether that's current now. But what I'll say there is that I feel that you have the time and the patience in your own mind as to how to deal with them step by step by step by step, because we can't just go right on in there very quickly and get the result you're wanting with that person, because we can't change your mind instantly, particularly if someone's so, we might call it stubborn, strong-willed. And I do think you can be strong-willed as well. So sometimes it can be like arguing with yourself. So sometimes if we sort of think of, if I was trying to argue this point with myself, how would I get that across? And it might be an easier way to do that. But I feel like that's already underway, already been dealt with. And I feel as if, there's a reason that's coming up in my energy of what I'm picking up with you, because there may be some relevance to that coming up in the next few months to do with another female. But I'm getting this as a younger female. We really had to struggle with that person. And it's like that's alluding to something coming up in the next few months where you need to use the same line of thinking to do with that person, because at the time you will think, oh, gosh, how do I deal with this? And so just when that comes back up, you just need to be very patient with it. I'm going to thank you very much for calling in, Cynthia, even though I can't hear you and you can't quite hear me, and I'll hope you'll listen back to the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for trying to reach us today on Soulstar Radio. We'll catch you next week, and we do apologise for those we can't get to. And if you're wanting to connect with Soulstar Radio, just find me on Facebook. Just type in Soulstar Radio with Jacquelene. You'll find me there, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. In the meantime, I'm going to send you lots of love, healing and light. I've got the candles going in the background, and I'm going to wish you the very best for a beautiful week. Thank you.